Welcome to the Church Sound Podcast, part of the Repurpose Network, where kingdom culture, real life, and technology intersect. I'm your host, Prentiss Thompson, and what we do, we talk to real people, pastors, leaders, engineers, tech people, manufacturers, worship leaders, all about church, technology, and provide solutions for a successful Sunday morning service. You ready? It's time to take a ride. Let's go. Yes, and welcome to another edition of the Church Sound Podcast. Oh man, I love when you clap for me. I love it when you do it. I love it when you do it. I'm your humble host, Mr. Prentiss Thompson. What we do every week, we try to make sure that we get you the information to make your church service, 3 words, amazing. This episode is brought to you by Invisible Media Consulting. Make sure you hit them up for all of your needs for your church. Book a phone call. Go right over to invisiblemediaconsulting.com. Go on the first page. Just select the time on the calendar and someone will schedule a time for you to be able to talk with you about your church needs. So make sure you do that. Invisible Media Consulting. Hey, listen, I'm so glad you are here. I'm excited to share with you on today. And if you are here for the first time or the 50th time, I want to let you know that we have over 300 episodes, which is a lot of information to peruse. So if you're new here and you want to see all of the tech information and the manufacturers and the singers and musicians and producers that we have on the show, go check out our catalog. And while you're there, like, subscribe, review, share, because sharing is caring, and make sure that you share with your pastor, your leader, your media team, your singers, your praise and worship, whoever you need on your team. Make sure you share it with them. So this way, you're being a blessing while being blessed. So today's topic, we solo dolo today. Today's topic is rather interesting, to say the least. Because today's topic is about a pet peeve of mine that I have as an engineer. It doesn't matter if I'm in a church. It doesn't matter if I'm in an amphitheater. It doesn't matter where I am, small church, large church, no church, concert. It does not matter. I see this and it drives me crazy because obviously, some people think that this is cool, what I'm going to talk about. So, who is today's episode for? It's for engineers, but it's also a learning tool for people on the stage. Today's episode is one for all of my singers, pastors, anyone who steps on the stage on a Sunday morning to use a microphone. We're talking about something that's hurting your sound more than you realize. Today's episode is called Don't Cup the Mic. I will say it again. Don't cup the mic. Now, it may look cool. Trust me. I know. It may look cool. But it's really not. Because cupping the mic can ruin your sound quality, increase your feedback, and more importantly, drive your sound team crazy. Absolutely nuts, because there is no cure for this. There's no antidote for this except for the person who is using the mic. So don't worry. Today, we're going to break down and I'm going to explain what happens, how to avoid it, and what we can do to make sure your sound is the best every single time. So get your popcorn ready and let's just dive in. So you're probably asking, so Prentiss, since you jumped up on your perch here, what happens when you cup the mic? I'm glad you asked. So, what is cupping the mic? It's for people who may not know. It's when you're wrapping your hand around the griddle of the mic you kind of cover it. You've probably seen a lot of singers, a lot of rappers do this. It looks kind of like this. So if you're listening, I'm showing on the screen. I have a mic in my hand, and it kind of looks like this. They're grabbing the mic and they're doing this. It looks cool, but it's not effective. You know, you looking slick, but it's not effective. So let me tell you the reasons why. Because a dynamic handheld microphone is designed to pick up sound in a specific pattern, in a specific area. Usually it's a cardioid microphone or a unidirectional microphone. So when you cup the microphone, basically you're blocking the vents that help control that pattern. You're blocking the vents that help control that pattern. So think of it this way. If you're standing in front of a vent and you put a cloth over it, will the air come through sufficiently? The answer is no. It's the same thing with sound, because sound travels, right? So what happens when you cup the mic? First thing that happens, you're very susceptible to frequency distortion, because immediately your sound gets muddy and it just loses clarity. Immediately. If you don't believe me, allow me to demonstrate. All right, so now I've changed to the handheld microphone. I was on the lavalier. This is the handheld microphone, right? You hear some handling noise, but I'm going to try to minimize that right now. This is the mic, how you should be using it, all right? This is cupping the mic. So imagine you're singing and you're doing all this, and it should sound like this, but it sounds like this. So imagine if you're preaching. Imagine if you're singing. The more you cover the mic, the more horrible your sound gets. So imagine this sound coming through a sound system. And it could sound this good, but it's really sounding like this. You understand? What else happens when you do this? Well, automatically, you're very much susceptible to feedback. You know that sound that we all hate? Yeah, that sound. And now you have made your sound engineer's job 10 times harder, because the mic isn't behaving the way it should. Just by simply cupping the mic, you're not only affecting your sound, you're also making it tough for the audience to hear you clearly. Immediately. So you're probably asking, so where should I hold the mic? Well, this is the kicker. The mic has a handle. If you grip the mic the right way by gripping it on the handle and leaving the griddle of the mic fully exposed, this allows the microphone to function properly, to pick up your voice with clarity. It's very, very important to understand how to use equipment correctly. Making sure the mic is 1 or 2 inches away from your mouth, not too far, not too close. You want it at a slight angle, so this way you don't have any plosives for your B's and your P's, so they don't pop through the speakers. Let me tell you the reasons why I'm drumming this home, because imagine if all of your singers on stage, all of your praise and worship singers on stage were cupping the mic. I want you to imagine 8 people cupping the mic and the pastor. You have no idea what your sound system sounds like, because everyone is using the equipment wrong. You know what? It's kind of, if I have to compare it to something, It's like you had 8 nails in the wall and you gave everyone hammers to nail the nail in the wall. But you know what? Everyone picked up needle nose pliers. And now you're asking them to bang a nail into a wall with needle nose pliers. Wrong tool, right? But if you use the right tool the wrong way, what if we were using the microphone? It's using it the correct way. This is the thing that I would always, any artist that I've ever produced, any singer that I've ever worked with, anyone, any church that I've ever worked with, I always make sure that everyone on stage, anyone who uses a microphone, you have to teach them how to use it. You know why? Because people are impressionable. You'll see people on stage cupping the mic and you think that's cool. You think that that is the way to use the microphone. After a while, this is what happens. After a while, you get used to using the microphone wrong. You get used to. I used to find my singers if you use the microphone wrong. I used to find them. So you have to teach people how to use the equipment correctly. You have to be practical about using it. You have to rehearse proper microphone technique. Practice holding the mic the right way during rehearsals. You know why? Because after a while, you get used to how it feels and how it affects your sound. You'll get used to how it's like anything repetitive. After a while, it becomes commonplace. It's like you cupping the mic. You practice that. Come on. You do that every Sunday. Let's keep it a bean. You do that every Sunday because you practice using it wrong. So now you have to reprogram yourself and your team to use it properly. You work with your sound team, work with your engineer. Your engineer is your best friend. Your engineer is your best ally. Ask them feedback on how on your mic technique and how it is affecting your sound. And if you're the leader, and I said this earlier, if you're the leader, whether it's a worship leader, whether it's a choir director, whether it's a pastor, whoever it is, teach your team how to handle the microphone properly. Everyone should be on the same page. You know why? Because this improves the sound of the entire service. It's not about looking cool. It's about clear sound and connecting with your audience. I say this often. It doesn't matter what button you press, what fader you slide, how you turn the lights on, turn the lights off, what sticks you use for your drum. Everything we use in technology is for one reason. It's to bring souls to the kingdom. Remember that. You cupping the mic, using the microphone incorrectly, you're not helping. Learn to use the microphone correctly and stop cupping the mic, because you're causing more problems than you think. You think you look cool, but in reality, you're making your sound worse. So let's recap. As we kind of get to the end of this very, very short episode of the Church Sound Podcast, right? Don't cup the mic, one, because it distorts your sound and increases your feedback. It makes your sound engineer, go crazy. 2, hold the mic by the handle. Be consistent with your distance. Angle it slightly for the best sound. Lastly, practice these techniques. Teach others to do the same thing. Trust me, your audience will thank you. Your sound team will breathe a sigh of relief. And I'll take credit. I'm just playing. And I'll be happy that this is something that you can apply immediately. This is something that you can teach your team today. Put these practices, if you're having this issue, put these practices in place so that your church service can be 3 words. Say it with me. Amazing. So, before we get out of here, what I'd like you to do is make sure you like, subscribe, review, and share. Leave a comment. If you have questions, or if you have a topic you'd like me to cover, or if you have a guest and you think would be a really good guest, hit us up. The Church Sound Podcast at Gmail. The Church Sound Podcast at Gmail. Hey, I don't know about you, but I think we covered some stuff today that's going to help you out immediately. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me. I would say, like I always say, keep God first in everything you do. I'll see you next time on the Church Sound Podcast.